Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of Tank Academy with me, Fubzy, the uber noob of What University. So, what are we going to be covering in episode 2? Well, we're going to be following on from what we did in episode 1 of knowing your tank and trying to play to your tank's strengths. And in this one we're going to be looking at how to analyse the enemy team. Now if you look at the enemy team from a unicorn's point of view, then they analyse the game completely differently. They know every map inside out, they know every tank inside out. For the newer players, we can't do this, so what can we do? Well, what I'd like to suggest that you do is you look first and foremost, does the enemy team have artillery? As you can see here, yes they do. Now this means that you either need to hug the side of a hill or a building to keep yourself safe from artillery, or you need to keep yourself on the move and less easy to hit for the artillery. Secondly, what kind of tanks are you likely to face where you want to go? So, I'm a heavy tank. The heavy tanks generally brawl it out in the city here. The quicker tanks normally go over here, and you sometimes get tank destroyers down here, and the artillery around here. So I know I'm liable to come up against their heavier tanks. And as we've seen some of the heavier tanks, the 5100, the Carnarvon. You're not always going to get every single tank where you expect it to be. The IS-3 being out here, 9 times out of 10 the IS-3 could probably come into here. Sometimes you'll get an IS-3 or a heavy tank that will go out here. There's players that will do things that are unexpected. Sometimes that's because they're trying to catch you out. Sometimes it's because they don't know what they're doing themselves. Sometimes it's just because of the makeup of the team. I mean, you can see here, there's quite a few, there's quite a good mix. There's a few heavies, a few mediums, a couple of TDs, a couple of lights, a couple of artillery. Sometimes you'll be in a team that will be really heavy in one particular part. Maybe they've got lots of heavy tanks. So it's about working out what kind of tanks you're about to run into, how many you're likely to run into, and then adjusting your gameplay off that. If you know that you're one of 3 heavy tanks and the enemy team has 8 heavy tanks, you might take up a more defensive position than you normally would. Likewise, if you're one of 8 heavy tanks and they're only going to have 3, you might play more aggressively. So you can see here, we know that we're going to be facing the heavy tanks in the town. We've taken up good positions here, good side scraping positions. We've managed to get down a little bit of damage so far, without taking much in the way of damage in return, bar damage tracks. And now it's just being patient, not overcommitting because the game's still fairly evenly matched. Biding your time, making your shots count. Now that was a little bit of a waste, which is exactly why I wanted to point it out. I had ages to aim at him, and then when he pops out, I wasted the shot. So this time, zooming in, make the shot count. But really the key message for this episode is when you look at the analysing of a game, which a lot of the purple players will tell you is the first thing you need to be doing, have a look, is there artillery? How is that going to affect your game? What tanks are you liable to run into where you want to go? And that's a little bit of map knowledge as well, knowing where the heavies go, where the TDs tend to be, where the faster tanks tend to go. And then you can kind of start to work out how aggressive can you be. If you're running into, say there's a 5100, he's got an auto-loader clip. Do I really want to be going in? I'll get 1 shot away and he'll get 6 away. Well, probably not, so I'm going to try and come around the back and then I'll try and deal with him from there. On the way around I can take the centre meal out. Then we find the artillery, so we can take a pop at the artillery as well. All the time we're working round towards the back of that AMX 5100. Now the AMX 5100 gets taken out there, so now we can just change our focus onto the artillery. Little spoiler for you, I don't get him. And from here now, we've gone from a very evenly matched game into having twice the tanks that they do. So now it's just about mopping up really. Again, we have got 2 artillery. The Type 58 is probably going to take those out. So it might come down to a 4 versus 3. but we've got a 2-on-1 there, a 2-on-1 here. The SU's now made that a 1v1. And these are the kind of things really you want to be looking at whilst you're playing. Well, I'm not going to play the remainder of the game because there's not much left to say on this episode. I hope that you're enjoying these. If you've got any feedback that you want to leave in the comments, please do. Hopefully you're liking these. As I say, feel free to like or subscribe to the videos. It will make it easier for you to see when I release a new one. I'd also appreciate it if you could check out a couple of other YouTuber friends of mine. We've got Oinked, who's very good in his videos. He's quite comedic in his videos. He has a very humorous style of the way he delivers his content. I love him to bits. I think he's really good. We've also got Sir Havoc. Very, very informative videos. He's a regular streamer. At the moment, he's not releasing any new videos because he's in the middle of moving house. But he produces videos on a regular basis. Very good quality, very professional videos, and they're always very useful as well. So make sure you check those out. I'll try and put you a link in the comments below. Again, I'm still getting used to all of this, so it won't be perfect, but if you want to leave some comments, please do. I'm not going to be throwing the dummy out the pram. If one of you tells me something, I like to get the feedback so I know where we're going. Right. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you again for episode 3.